Now let's think about this for a minute. This is the piece I'm going to use for my step. This was the side that I already cut straight. I've already cut that straight. So before I figure out the width and all that, remember I said one side's going to be 16 and the other side's 16 and a half. Before I do all that, of course I want to measure the length, 42, pretty sure it was 42 and a half. I'm going to have to go double check that. Sometimes I'll measure something and think, okay, I can do it, and then I think about something else and I don't want to guess at it. So I'm going to measure that one more time, be right back. Okay, I thought for sure it was 42 and a half, and I'm right, it is. So I'm going to flip this around because this was cut, that was cut. This was my straight edge. I actually cut this other end too, but this was my straight edge. This side is not. So for the sake of argument, I'm just going to take this. And I'm going to measure this 42. Let's see what it is, 42 and a half. 42 and a half and 42 and a half. We'll check here. It's funny, sometimes you might make a measurement and think, oh yeah, I know what it is, and then you measure again, you think, hey, I thought it was 42 and a half. And you mark 42 and 3/4. For some unknown reason, it came out 42 and 3/4, not 42 and a half. You're like, I don't know how I did that, but I'm glad I double checked it. Look at that. Just by having that not straight, it kind of screwed up on the straight edge. It's the mark on the inside over here, or on the outside, whichever way you want to look at it. So I got to remember that when I cut it. Wow, look at that. My level was longer and everything, so I didn't have to snap that one, did I? I could just go from pencil mark to pencil mark. You can generally tell when you're through all the way. I'm lifting up as I'm doing the end. I didn't have to hit the concrete. Boy, it's just getting slightly dull, I can tell. Okay. Then it kind of pulls right out from there. I gotta remember where my edges are. This is a straight edge, this is a straight edge, and the far right's a straight edge. This edge was the crooked edge, okay? So now, I'm going to take you back there, and we're going to measure this, we're going to figure this one out, and make sure we cut this one right. Okay, I measured the length of this was the 42 and a half, okay? And when I measure this left-hand side, I got 16. I measure this right-hand side, I got almost 17 inches right there, the end. Now, what side is straight? Is the front straight, the two sides straight, and this side cut from 17 to 16? Is this the crooked side, that angle side? Or is this the straight side? And I'm going to look at this, and this right up next to the house, I'm going to think that's straight. And when they formed this, they formed it and either they measured off or they didn't have this supported properly. When they poured the concrete in here, this part bowed out a little bit or something. I don't know what the deal was, but I'm going to make the assumption this is the straight side, and this is square, this is square. And so I've got to remember that when I cut that piece of carpet, right? Because on this side over here, on the back to the front is 16 inches. And from the back to the front here, same piece of trim that's going along there, is close to 17 inches. Okay? We got to remember that. Now let's go back to our piece of carpet and figure out which edge to cut from and to measure from. So here's our piece. Straight that I cut. This one straight, that one straight. This is the crooked one. Now how am I going to measure this? You might think, well, that's easy, Joe. Just measure from here 16 inches. Measure that one 17 inches. Connect the lines and cut it. Is that going to be right? No, it's not going to be right, is it? Because you're going to flip this back over. When you flip it over, we want this is the straight side. We want the straight side over here. Like that, right? So now this is the side we got to measure 16 inches. From this edge, that was the cut edge. We got to think about this. 16, we know this is going to go over into, this is going to set on the step from this point. This is going to be the left-hand edge, okay? So that's where we got to measure from. So it's kind of backwards. This was 16, right? I'm going to make this 15 3/4. Because I'm going to make it about a 1/4 inch short, 15 3/4. And I'm going to go down here, 17. But I'm going to make it 16 3/4. Okay? Does that make sense? 16 3/4. Well, before you cut it, you think about it again. We're going to flip this over. This is going to be in our bottom. This is 15 3/4. Over here, the left edge, 15 3/4. So that's going to be 16. And that side's going to be 17, right where it's at, right? So I'm making that just a hair short, 16 3/4 over there. Okay? And that's what I did. Right? Now, that front edge is going to be the part at the slight angle, right? I hope you caught that. Because it's the same thing like when you're cutting a sheetrock or whatever. And if you got an angle you're trying to do. So this was kind of up a little bit. I'm just going to kind of hold that down. And now it's all about using my chalk line. And I can take a little bit of it off. I just kind of do that. Now put it down. And that looks straight. Right there. Snap it once. That's where I'm going to cut it. And that's going to fit. Okay? There you go. Now I'm going to cut that. Let's get you situated over here. Yeah, see, you can do these things on your own. Little thought process, and away you go. See exactly where that is. There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to clean up these edges, and I got to remember how to lay this down, right? I can't just throw it up there willy-nilly either way. I've got to remember how I've got that set. And if I flip it the wrong way, it'll be easy enough to fix. But before I do that, I'm just going to check around the edges with my scissors. I'll be right back and show you the end product. I'm glad that's over with. I'm looking at this edge. I think I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. before I call it good. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.